Hello, Rogers here. We are going to be looking at setting up your Zoom account so that your meetings run well, your classes run well. If you are scheduling for staff members, staff meetings, or you are scheduling for students' classes, there are some settings that you are supposed to do. Make sure that your meetings go on well. Now, we already looked at opening a Zoom account. Zoom has a website. There's a website here of Zoom. So when you visit this website, you should be able to sign up. There is a button here for sign up. Now the procedure is all documented here, and we are going to be sending you this document showing you when you click on that sign up button, what will you see? You'll see an email, a place where you type in your email. Zoom after that will send you an email, and you can be able to activate your Zoom account by clicking on the link and the button which will be in that email that they will send you. Then from there you will be able to sign in. And also the process is similar on a phone. On a phone, the difference is that you'll have to use an app. You don't use a browser. You use an app, and when you go there, if you are using an iPhone, you go to the App Store, you search for Zoom, you'll see an app called Zoom Cloud Meetings. That's the one you use. You don't use the other of others. The others called Zoom things. This one is the one you focus on, Zoom Cloud Meetings. And so when you install, even on Android, you install this app, you also click on Sign Up. In that case, they will ask you for your date of birth, your email, your name. You put in those details, and after that they will still send you an activation email. So you click on that button which will go into your email. You have to check your email as you are signing up for Zoom, and then from there when you tap on it, you will be able to log in here. It will ask you for some account information, and then you will be able to schedule the meeting. Yesterday, you were given that assignment to do that and schedule a meeting and send some screenshots. That was the assignment for yesterday. Now, today, after you have created your account, you can sign in. I'm going to be showing you some settings here. So let me click on sign in here. When I sign in now, because I already have an account that I created, I can choose any. Let me use this. I have I'm managing a number of Zoom accounts for churches and other organizations, and also I have my own. Let me log into this one here for the church here. So when you log into your account, if you have meetings that you have scheduled before, they will be appearing down there. The main thing I want to show you here is the settings. The settings, which ones are the best settings that we have to set to make sure that our meetings move on well. The settings are in many categories. We have security, we have schedule meeting settings, in basic settings, in meeting advanced, email notification, and others. All of them are on this page. So when you click on any of these sections, you should be able to see the settings that you need. Now the first up here is about security. There are security options. We have what you call waiting room and then a passcode. You must have at least one. So what I recommend is that you use the passcode. Now the waiting room is troublesome. Sometimes if you have a waiting room and you try to admit participants, some participants get stuck in the waiting room. So it's better you leave the waiting room off, but you put on a passcode. The passcode should be on. So that one, you make sure that you use that. I'm going to just be talking about the key settings that we were talking about yesterday. The video, you turn them off by default. The participants can turn them later when they are ready to be seen. Some participants usually have their videos on when they don't know. The part of computer audio should be selected here. It is the one which is going to represent the phone audio and the computer audio. Don't use this telephone and computer audio. Let the computer audio be the default. There is this part of allow participants to join before a host. Now, this part here, it depends on the kind of meeting you are setting. If you are setting a meeting for like staff members, a link which you are going to be using as staff members to have staff meetings, maybe daily or weekly. You can turn this one on because the staff members are known. You are going to send this passcode to only them, and there's no other person whom you don't know who will join this meeting. Now, normally, for example, you are the head teacher of this school and you are the one who is scheduling the meeting. You should allow participants to join. They can join before you. If you don't allow them, it means that they will be stuck waiting for you to come and start the meeting every time. So if the meeting is at 4, maybe you have delayed, they will be there and they will be waiting, and maybe you are not able to give them the logins to log in. Yeah, but if you allow them to join, they can join and they can even start the discussion. The deputy is there and other teachers. Anytime you join them, the meeting will go. And that link can always be open. The staff members at any time, they can use it even for departmental meetings. They can use it without you necessarily being there to start meetings. That link can be on 24/7 when it is always there and people can join and use it. That is if the people that are using this link are known and you trust that they will be using the link well. Yeah, so that is what you can do. And there is something known as a claim host. In case you fail to join this meeting, the deputy or any other person or the DOS should be able to claim the host to take on the hosting rights, so that he can be able to control the meeting, mute participants, and make sure that the meeting is orderly. There is something known as claim host, and it is only used when you have turned on the meeting. So you go on your profile up here, you click on your profile picture, and you click on your name. So when you click on your name, it will take you to a place known as the profile page. Now, the profile page there, you are going to see a feature known as host key. This host key is supposed to be a secret. I'm going to display it here, but I'm going to edit and change it later so that you don't see. Yeah, so if this host key is a 6-digit number, this host key, you can give it, for example, let me put 333333 as my host key. Okay, it is refusing this kind of, because of simple format, so it doesn't want you to use simple format. So let me say 300. Okay, so this is my host key. For now, I'm going to change it later. So this host key, I can give it to my deputy. So in case my deputy comes onto this meeting and I'm not yet there and the meeting is starting, the deputy can claim to be the host using the host key. He will go under the participants list. There is a participants list at the bottom of the names. There is somewhere where they will be claim host. That is in case these people joined. The feature for join meeting before host was enabled. People are already on. You are nowhere to be seen. The deputy, you empowered him with the host key, so he can be able to claim host. And it's the same thing even in classes. If the link has been set up, the learners are on, the teacher is on, the teacher can claim a host and then he controls the meeting. So he has to just click on that claim host button, and then from there he puts in that host key here. Once he says claim host, he types in that and clicks OK. He will become automatically the host and he will be able to control the meeting. So that is one thing that you should know. So if you have to set up that kind of meeting, you turn on to allow participants to join before you. You can put a time frame, but you can leave this. If that is in case the meeting link is going to remain on forever. That is if you set it as a recurring link without giving it a time frame. Okay, so that is a very important feature that I wanted you to know. Mute all participants when they are joining a meeting. Some participants join when they're in taxis, in places which are noisy. You turn on. These are the default settings. Then there's something about chat. This chat, if you are setting up a link for class meetings, sometimes if you know your learners and there are no stubborn elements, it's fine. Everyone can chat and the messages will go everywhere. But if you are operating an environment where the audience you don't know, and so you can make it in such a way that If someone sends a message, it only goes to the host and the co-hosts. The admins are the ones, because the learner is asking for something. It should not distract others. We have seen, like in some of the trainings we have had, public trainings, there are some elements that come and they start sending other funny messages which disorganize. So if the messages are going everywhere, it can be a bad thing. But if it is only going to the host and co-hosts, then it is going to be that only the teachers will see and they respond to whatever the learners are asking without interrupting or distracting the others. Okay, so that is the feature there that you can be able to look at. There are other things like sending files via chat. This part of co-hosts, you should always turn it on. You should always turn on that part of co-hosts. You turn it on so that a host can give other people to be co-hosts, because the person may be presenting and he needs other people to support him in controlling the meeting. So you can turn on the polls and quizzes, which can be used at the end. You can also turn on some of these features. They can be used during by the teacher to get feedback from the audience. Then there's this share Zoom windows during screen share. If you want to teach people about Zoom and you want them to see the Zoom controls as they are controlling, then you can turn them on. But if you, by default, we turn them off, because when we are sharing, we don't want normally to show the Zoom screen. We only want to show the presentation. Now, who can share? Do you want a participatory class where even learners will be sharing only? But the challenge with this is that some learners are stubborn. He can share his phone when there is some photo of Ronaldo or some other person, so to distract the class. So you can limit the sharing to only the host, and so that the learners are not distracted. The issue of annotations is also very important. Annotations are those extra marks that are put on the screen when the teacher is teaching. He can draw a flower, he can, when he's illustrating this presentation. Now, Zoom allows even the learners to annotate. For example, you can go to a screen and you want them to point on things and then they annotate. But some learners, they start annotating when the teacher has not asked them and they distract. So here there is an option of annotation. You turn it on, but then you only allow the user who is sharing to annotate. That is the teacher. You only allow the person who is sharing to annotate. Other people, it can be turned on during the meeting, but by default, turn that on so that the teacher does not have any problem. Then the whiteboard, you can save the whiteboard content as a picture, because the teacher normally has some working there on the whiteboard. So after that, when it goes away, it can be saved as a teacher. Then the meeting reactions. Do you want emojis? You can limit them to just a few instead of having a lot of emojis there, or you can leave them on. It depends on, normally there are kids who normally want to use those. Allow removed participants to rejoin. After I remove the student who is stubborn, a student will still rejoin and disorganize you. So it is normally off by default, unless if you want it. You can allow the participants to rename themselves, hide participant profile pictures in the meeting. This one here, you turn it on. Now, many of us, when we are signing up for our Zoom accounts, we just use the pictures which were on our Google. They are not normally sometimes good pictures. It can be turned on later, but by default, turn it off. Turn off that such that we just see the participant names. The pictures, most of the people don't have their right profile pictures there. You turn on the breakout rooms so that you allow the host to assign participants to the breakout rooms when it's scheduling, like we were trying out yesterday. You turn on all those options. You turn on the breakout rooms. If you don't enable these features, you will not be able to see them the other side in your Zoom app. So you should be able to enable these features so that you can be able to see them the other side. Yeah, so they also join from browser link. You can show this in case someone fails to install Zoom on his computer. You enable live streaming. Facebook, YouTube, you can enable this live streaming so that these options are available the other side in case you want to whatever. Then select this option to request permission to unmute. Yeah, this one you can turn it on if you want the learners to request permission to unmute if they want to speak. Yeah, so you can, but you as the admin, you can always ask them to unmute. Yeah, so when the cloud recording is available, you send a copy to the person who scheduled the meeting, in this case the head teacher, and also send it to the deputy, because sometimes the head teacher is not the one who has chaired that meeting. So let the recording also be available to the deputy who chaired the meeting in that case. Yeah, so you can be able to have all these options. There are a number of options here. Now we are on notification. When someone has joined the meeting, you get a notification. When the recording is going from trash, so you can be able to have some of those notifications sent to you. Then there is this part of scheduling privilege. You should assign a scheduling privilege. You can assign a scheduling privilege to your deputy such that he can schedule a meeting under the school account even without you logging in. So here you come here and you click assign scheduling privilege, and then you put in. So for example, here I'm going to put in my email. So I can put in my email like this, and then I say assign. So if I do that, but it allows, here it is refusing, it allows the person whom you put as a scheduling should be also having a paid account and should be attached to this particular hosting account. So if you have set up several, we have Zoom has what we call hosts. You have set up, you should be able to assign. It's good to assign an alternative person. So it is good to do it, but it only allows the other person's email also to be a paid account, and when they are all within the same, when they are connected here. So that is the those are some of the main settings that I really wanted you to know to do, so that you can have a very good Zoom meeting. And you have, when you have those things here now, when you come to your meetings and you start any meeting, for example, if I start this meeting here, the meetings will be listed, and when you click on the meeting to start the meeting, now this is in the Zoom app on the desktop, or even on the Zoom app on the phone. When you start these meetings as a host, you'll be able to see all those controls and all those things that you have been enabling. In the other side, you'll be able to see them here. If you don't turn them on, then this part of join with the computer audio automatically join the computer audio when joining a meeting, so that it doesn't keep disturbing you every time. So you will have all your controls here, the options for security. You can always on the other side they will set default, but you can always enable them. Waiting room, even if you turned it off the other side by default, you can enable it at any time, but by default you set it up when it is not there. The participants list, you should be able to see the options here. If I was not a host, the option of claim host is normally at the bottom here, if I'm not a host already, but here I'm already a host, so the option for claim host, you would see it at the bottom there. The issues of chat, if you want the learners to only chat with only the co-hosts, you can still change it from here, even if you had made the default settings on the other side. So by default it will be here, but you can always switch if you want all learners to see their responses and all these options here. The other side, we have made the default settings, but we can always modify those settings here to do with the participants. So you should know you should know how to, the reactions are here. Raising a hand, if you want to speak, you press there, and then your hand will be there, so that the moderator can pick you. The breakout rooms, you should be able to know how to create breakout rooms. If you want to breakout rooms, you come here down, and then you say if there are maybe how many breakout people, you say assign automatically, and then you say create a breakout room. So in that case, it is when you say open all rooms, it is going to open all the rooms, and then you'll be in the room, but here I'm only one. After that, you can close the rooms. You can send a message to all the people that you have 1 minute left, and then you send a message. All of them will be able to get that message. Then after that, you can close the meetings, and then they will be able to come back. So in this case, I was only one, but this is where you go to the breakout rooms. If you want to record to live on YouTube, you just click on this part, and then it will prompt you to stream your meeting to the YouTube account that you have for the school. And if you want to record, you should also be able to record on this computer.
Recording in progress.
And your recording will start. So you should be able to manage the Zoom session, manage the participants, mute participants if you don't want them to speak, and unmute them, and you can rename them. If you want to put a profile picture, which is better, you can always edit the profile picture so that you change the picture so that people can be able to see a better picture of you. Okay, so those are the recap of what we have covered on Zoom, and so I decided to create this tutorial to summarize each and everything that we have covered. We are going to be sending you also the documents, the documentation, those of you who want to read, and you can be able to keep practicing and be ready to conduct and host your Zoom meetings accordingly. So check out the Google Classroom. We are putting all these materials on the Google Classroom so that you can be able to utilize them as you need. Okay, thank you very much. That is Rogers Mukalele from the ICT Teachers Association.